On this week's Eye on the WHL, we'll turn our attention to the just announced rosters of the upcoming World Junior Hockey Championships. We'll look at what WHL players made their country's rosters, with some noted missing names. One such name involves a very talented player who was selected 6th overall in the 2024 NHL Draft.
In our franchise's history, for 2024 draft, Utah selects
Tej Iginla.
Wow.
Utah Hockey Club prospect Tej Iginla will have his junior season cut short. The Kelowna Rockets announced this week that the 18-year-old Iginla underwent successful hip surgery and will miss the remainder of this 2024-25 WHL season. Before the injury announcement, Tej Iginla played 21 games, scoring 14 goals and racking up 32 points for his Kelowna Rockets. The son of NHL Hall of Famer Jerome Iginla, Tej played 2 preseason games with Utah, recording an assist while averaging 12.5 minutes per preseason game. Another big name was left off Canada's roster, and it involves not a WHL player but someone from the Ontario Hockey League. Top NHL draft prospect Michael Misa was suspended for 1 game, flipping 3 stuffed animals back into the stands on Teddy Bear Toss Night this past Sunday, where his Saginaw Spirit were visiting the Sarnia Sting. He was given a 1-game suspension for flipping the animals back over the boards. Michael Misa, not listed in the initial Canadian World Juniors 32-man camp. Others of note not making the rosters for the World Juniors include Ottawa Senators prospect and Calgary Hitmen forward Carter Yakimchuk. Dave was part of the selection process and said, quote, "This is my 5th World Juniors, and every year when you pick a team, there are people that disagree with you, which is understandable. One of our strengths, one of Canada's strengths, is our depth." Here are the WHLers going to Ottawa. Brandon Wheatking's netminder, Carson Bjornsson from Carberry, Manitoba.
Marcus up the right side at the circle, walks in, holds, throws it back out front. Bjornsson with a huge right pad save. They're banging away in close. Edwards takes the block.
Carson Bjornsson from Carberry, Manitoba. Seattle Thunderbirds goalie, Scott Ratzlaff from Irma, Alberta. Ratzlaff and Bjornsson are 2 WHLers of the 4 Canadians going to World Juniors camp. Looking at the Blue Liners, Kamloops Blazer defender Harrison Bernicki, learning lots of great tips from Don Hay, the winningest head coach in WHL history, who's now in charge of the defense in Kamloops, as will Tanner Molendijk, Saskatoon Blades defender from McBride, British Columbia. 2 other WHL defenders made the Canadian junior camp list. Defender Sawyer Minyo from the Seattle Thunderbirds from Kamloops, BC, and Caden Price, a Kelowna Rockets player from Toontown, Saskatchewan. Caden Price, Sawyer Minyo, rounds out the WHL players making Canadian camp.
Pass the stick of Buttazzoni. Puck loose center ice. Here comes Catton with it. Catton down the left side. Catton throws it on net and he scores!
We spot some great WHL talent on the Canadian roster for forwards, including Berkeley Catton, the Toontown native from the Spokane Chiefs. Andrew Crystal from Burnaby, British Columbia has been firing it up for the Kelowna Rockets. Andrew almost made the Washington Capitals roster. Another WHL forward having a great season, Riley Height, another Toontown player, playing for the Prince George Cougars. Tanner Howe, recently traded from Regina to the Calgary Hitmen. Tanner, a Prince Albert, Saskatchewan native. Gavin McKenna from Whitehorse, Yukon Territory.
20 seconds left. Weisblatt from his own end. Stretch pass from McKenna, beats out an icing. McKenna shoots, scores! Gavin McKenna gives the Tigers the 1-goal lead. Heartbreaker, backbreaker for the Broncos, and McKenna swarmed at the bench.
The Medicine Hat Tiger is the prospect many think will be the first pick of the upcoming summer draft. One more forward, Braden Yeager. It says here the Moose Jaw Warriors, but he was just recently traded.
To the cross, Yeager, empty net, goes skating to the goal, scores!
The trade, which involves Yeager and Jackson Unger from Moose Jaw, being dealt for 3 players and 6 draft picks. The Winnipeg Jets prospect, Braden Yeager, goes from Moose Jaw, who are in 10th in the East, to Lethbridge, who are currently sitting at 7th out of 11 teams in the WHL Eastern Conference. For the U.S., Edmonton Oil Kings defenseman Blake Fiddler has been tapped to potentially help USA Hockey defend gold at the upcoming World Championships. The top 2025 NHL draft prospect is among 28 players and the only WHLer to be named to the U.S. national team preliminary roster.
You mentioned that you played both for the U.S. and Canada. I mean, have you ever given thought, like, hey, when it's a double IHF event, you are going to have to make a choice? Have you thought about that, or how do you feel about that opportunity if it does present itself?
Yeah, it's definitely, I'm in a unique position, but I grew up in the U.S. and played for the U.S. Played in the U.S. pretty much my whole life, so I think I kind of made that decision. But I'm excited for these games, and I'm looking forward to it.
It's especially rare for a U18 player to make the U.S. camp roster, especially when that player is outside of the national team development program. Blake Fiddler, who plays for the Edmonton Oil Kings in the WHL, and recently skated for Team CHL in the CHL USA Prospects Challenge. He's projected to be a first-round draft pick. Fiddler just might make it. He did captain Team USA at the Hlinka Gretzky Cup and gets big minutes night in, night out for the Edmonton Oil Kings. A few players from the Dub made the Czech Republic Chechnya team, including Everett Silvertip Dominic Raymond.
Now a little bit of room for Milovsky. He'll carry in, puts on the brakes, dropped it to the high slot, deflected, score! Some tic-tac-toe, and early in this game, Dominic Raymond will give Czechia the 1-0 lead.
The Czechs will be leaning on him to get on the score sheet. Marek Alscher, who spent some time with Portland, now with the Charlotte Checkers in the AHL. The World Junior Hockey Championships will begin the day after Christmas, December the 26th on TV in Canada. Watch all the action on TSN. In the U.S., it'll be on the NHL Network. Select games will not be televised by the NHL Network, but will be streamed live on ESPN+. If you've made it this far, please feel free to hit that subscription button. Doing so, we do celebrate. We jump off the couch. We run around. We high-five each other. It helps us continue to make more WHL content just like this. Remember also to hit that notification bell so you get all of the updates when they happen. Please comment below. Do you have any thoughts or comments? We'll get back to you. See you in the following video and in the next podcast. Eye on the WHL. Available on any podcast platform or right here on YouTube.